Hey y'all, welcome to a new video. I am tired. It has been a really good but really exhausting week. And I'm just gonna sit down and play with some makeup that I have had for a long time. This is a nothing new, not specifically Sephora, not specifically indie, just whatever I felt like grabbing from my stash. I also just exfoliated, and I gotta say, this is the Saturday Skin Rub-a-Dub Peeling Gel. This is my favorite fast exfoliant. I literally just wetted my face. That's how I wash my face in the morning. Take a little bit of water, you know, work it into my skin, and then towel dry. So I did that. I let my skin air dry for a minute, and then I took, like a 2-finger bubble and just rubbed it into my skin and my jawline. And I'm a little red, but that's okay because we have a green color corrector. But my skin feels a lot better. So that is one of the ways that I kind of just wake up, feel better, feel a little bit more human, is by taking good care of my skin. So I have already put on a little bit of the Neutrogena niacinamide. My skin is pretty thirsty right now, but at the same time, that niacinamide does a lovely job at providing an initial burst of hydration. I am trying to pan this sunscreen from Versed. If you saw my empties, you'll see that I finished the one from In Beauty Project. This one is harder to finish because it's really, really heavy. So I've been mixing it like a 1 to 2. So two parts this to 1 part of the Versed. And it does a good job at like sealing in hydration. So there is the Innisfree and the Versed. You can see in comparison, the Versed, first of all, is runny, but second of all, has some color to it. I don't really find that being a problem, despite the fact that I'm pretty fair and relatively neutral. I'm going to make sure that I sunscreen up my neck because I just exfoliated and I don't want to expose that new skin, the evil rays of the sun. I am planning on going out later, so I do want this to last. And when I'm done filming, I'm gonna lay down and work on editing because due to the busy nature of the week, I didn't get filming done. I normally don't like to film on Friday. I normally like to just sit down and work on editing. That is not the case for today, and that's okay. That's okay. So I'm gonna grab the Exa Green Color Corrector and the Ciate Dewy Skin Primer and let you know what happened this week. So, I have a friend. And she is somebody that at this point in our relationship, I am very proud and happy to call a friend. We didn't used to be that way. We ended up being metamours in a very nasty, acrimony-filled, polyamorous relationship with an absolute gaslighting narcissist. This was more than 10 years ago at this point, but for a long time, she and I could not share space. I didn't want to acknowledge her. It was not great. Her relationship ended shortly after mine, green color corrector. And at that point, I don't know if I really developed empathy. I kind of just felt that she got what she deserved and that I was grateful that karma had finally taken hold. I don't feel that way now, but It's only after seeing Cinema Therapy's video on gaslighting that I really understood what we both had gone through. So I sent it to her and she was like, oh my God, every single one of these. And all of a sudden, I felt the ice melt. I just felt the ice melt between us. We also have a good group of mutual friends, and the pandemic hit and we were slowly opening up again. And I had a friend mention that she was going to have a pool party, and if I wasn't invited, to not take it personally because she was inviting this other person. And I said, okay, this life is too short and we've been through too much to let this get in our way anymore. And we just kind of settled our differences and moved on. And over the last, I'd say 2 or 3 years, we have actually grown to enjoy sharing space, enjoy being together. We really have had a ball at making fun of our mutual ex and the people who spurred him on. It's just been an absolute delight. This is the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. So this past week, she got tickets she had tickets to see Chicago and Styx up in Cleveland. So we decided to take a road trip together. And it was so much fun. Oh my heavens, I don't remember the last time I laughed that hard or sang that loud or just had like clarity of the moment and just enjoyed being with another person. If you'd have told me 10 years ago that this person and I would be happy sharing space together, and not just that, but sharing space one-on-one, no way would I have believed you. But it happened. It happened. And we have just become really good friends. So we went to this concert. It was a blast. I knew that I knew the bands. I just couldn't identify any of their songs off the top of my head, and I didn't try. I just said, all right, I'm gonna go to the show and whatever songs they play, I'll enjoy. And when Styx played Come Sail Away, I was like, oh yeah, which I know. And the entire, wasn't a stadium, it was an outdoor auditorium space. The entire audience was singing along with Come Sail Away. And it was just, I'm sitting in my lawn chair, drinking my beer, hanging out with my friend, and she brought a friend with her. So there were 3 of us just having an absolute perfect moment. I was in a little bit of pain, but at this point in my life, I'm always in a little bit of pain. And as long as it's not debilitating, I try to live my life despite my pain. I try. It's not always possible. I didn't know if the concert was going to happen because I woke up Wednesday morning with a migraine to beat all hell. And I the headache was primarily over my right eye. If I push in on my eyebrow, I can still feel the pain under my scalp. And I've got a couple spots back here that really hurt. But I did my cold capping, I took my meds, I drank lots of water, and I went to physical therapy. Like, I got out of the house. It was not a bad enough headache that I had like severe photophobia. It was mild enough that if I got myself out of bed and I got myself out of the house, I would be able to function. So I did. And 2 o'clock came and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to this concert and I'm gonna have fun. All right, I'm gonna use the Tom Ford foundation. I don't have that many foundations. I have the one from Kiko that I just bought. I just used the Lisa Eldridge. I wore the Lisa Eldridge to the concert because I know that it makes my skin really happy. And I knew that my skin was gonna dry out. So I wore an extra hydrating layer of coverage. I have the Dior stick, but for right now, that's a bit too much coverage. I'm gonna go wet my sponge and get my bottle of water. So if you told me 10 years ago that I would willingly put myself in a vehicle for 4 hours there and back with this person, I'd have told you you were crazy. But that's what's happening. I also have, I have tickets to see the Indigo Girls, and we're thinking about another trip up there for that concert. I haven't seen the Indigo Girls since college. It's been about 20 years, and they are one of my favorite bands of all time. Oh. What? You don't take my health insurance. I can't schedule my eye exam with you because you don't take my health insurance. I just got a text message reminding me to get my annual eye exam, which I know my eyes are terrible. My eyesight is probably contributing to my migraines. This video is just gonna be a long, windy, rambly road, and I hope y'all are on board for it. If you're going to concerts this summer, if you're going to see live music, let me know what you're seeing. I know that there's some good stuff happening in my region. This other friend and I are talking about seeing Josh Groban at the end of August. You know, it's good having buddies that you can do stuff like that with. And then I have another friend who is coming with me to see Paris Paloma in October. I love Paris Paloma. She is like the angry, driving, feminist voice that we need for this generation. I will post probably my favorite of her newest songs, Good Boy. I'll post that in the comments because it is a good song. It's a good song. I'm gonna do my brows. I'm gonna use the Fenty brow pencil. I'm just gonna zoom through this because my brows take a minute. All right, I needed a come sail away break. It was stuck in my head. Probably still is, but that's okay. Okay, moving on. Oh, moving on. Contour. Let's, excuse you. My makeup is choosing violence today. And honestly, I don't blame it. This is the e.l.f. contour. This is a drugstore contour, and it is one of my favorites. I was okay dispatching with my Oma contour. If you've been here since the beginning, you know how much I love that. I loved that contour stick. But this one does a mighty fine job at doing what it does. So I'm just gonna press that up against my cheekbone to create this like realistic looking shadow. Look at that. I like it. I like it. So what else has been going on this week? I made a pretty bad, pretty big mistake in that I mixed up my meds. I took, was it Tuesday? I took my evening meds in the morning, and I take 1,200 milligrams of gabapentin at night, along with several other things to help like shut down my nervous system so that I can sleep. And I did this during the day. And I tried to like evacuate them from my system. That didn't work. So I just was like, okay, I'm gonna cancel the things I had planned, which were therapy and a annual visit from one of my cats to go to the vet. She doesn't know how lucky she is that she got out of a vet appointment. All right, that feels pretty good. I'm gonna just bring what's left on the brush down this way. Do a little bit of light contour along the jawline so I don't look like so much of a potato. I had to go to Sephora yesterday to pick something up, and I'm standing at the pickup counter. I'm gonna do a little bronzer. This is the Maybelline Lifter Sticks. This is, again, drugstore, but really another really beautiful drugstore product. I'm standing at the counter, and it was the first time all day I'd looked in a mirror. I just hadn't bothered to look in a mirror, and I'm like, oh, I look like a potato. She's like, first of all, potatoes are delicious, so there's nothing wrong with looking like a potato, but you don't look like a potato. She was so sweet, and she was adorable. She just looked like a little fairy. She was so cute. But the potatoes are delicious line really got me. That got me laughing and kind of made my day. I'd forgotten how much I like this bronzer and how like rosy it is in comparison to other bronzers that I have. It's also so easy. I mean, look at that. Suddenly my face looks awake. So blush, blush, blush. I was tempted to pull out Latte by ABH, but it's very similar to but it's mighty similar to the one from Kiko that I've been using. And the point of this is to use things that I haven't used in a while. So enter Westman Atelier Petal into the chat. This is a very beautifully formulated pink blush. It is a, you know, for my skin tone, straight down the middle, pink. It's not too pink, it's not hot pink. It's got a beautiful finish. It's nice and smooth. It doesn't crack or look too shiny. Now, I do have this in one of their blush lighter formulas. I like that too. I will actually probably put that on top of this when I go out tonight, just to give my makeup a little bit of pop. By the way, if you live in the Midwest, do you call, you know, carbonated beverages soda or pop? Because my mom and I have this ongoing disagreement. I like soda. I use the word soda. I don't drink soda, but I use the word soda, and she calls it pop. Now, I don't know why, but that word bugs me. That word bugs me. All right. I also pulled out Charlotte Tilbury Pink Pop. I don't mind this being called pop because it is a pop of pink. It is not a soda of pink. Soda. Oh man. My brain really is mush today. So one of the issues I'm having with these matte beauty blush wands, especially as they get older, is that the product in the tip of the sponge dries out and kind of clogs up the sponge. I have a mini one of these that I'm also working on. I wore that the other day. But look at what that does to the cheek. It just brightens everything up. And because I have that other pink blush under it, it actually looks like it belongs on my skin. It doesn't look like it's too much. It looks nice and rich, doesn't look too hollow because it's got that base layer of pink to back it up. Nice. All right. That feels very, very nice. I'm going to go in with my bronzer, with my cream bronzer, and tone down under my eyes real quick. Short little stubby brush. I did do a blush, or a blush. I did do a brush declutter. I just didn't film it because it was something I needed to do as I washed my brushes. You know, I went through and any brushes after, I don't wash my brushes I wash my brushes like every 3 months. So after 3 months of use, any of my brushes that hadn't been used not decluttered. And I found it really interesting because there were some brushes in that grouping that I loved at one time, but I guess I have since found other brushes, other application methods that I liked better. Phytosurgent Spectral Sunlight Cream Bronzer in the shade 1. Look at what that does to my face. And then we'll go in with the Victoria Beckham. All right, as far as eyeshadow goes, I pulled out 2 of my Hourglass Scattered Lights shadows. I pulled out Reflect and I pulled out Ray. Ray has been with me for a very long time. It was one of the first like high-end products I bought. I can't remember if I bought this during a Sephora sale. I probably did, but I bought this one brand new. I bought this one brand new, and it is just perfect. It's a little rosy brown, but it looks so good on me. And it definitely gives me that like sultry, easy bedroom eye that we're all like, yeah, well, some of us are going for. I know it's something that I will strive for on occasion. I'm not going for something super bright. And I love that these don't even need to be blended out that much. They're just so naturally beautiful, and they've got a really easy to use and manipulate formula. I'm going to take a little bit of this side. I'm trying to find ways to use this side because, you know, you can see I've hit pan on the lighter side, but I feel like this other side of the bronzer is getting wasted. So I'm going to try and use that to blend, to just pull some color up so that it looks like my eye is just slightly elongated. There we go. That works. And because I've already put a little bit of my blush there, everything kind of just looks like it naturally associates. Ugh, why am I so hot and sweaty all the time? Am I starting perimenopause? I really hope not. I'm 43 years old. I really hope that I'm not entering that phase of my life. At least not yet. All right, what's next? Let's talk some powder. Am I gonna go in with Reflect, or am I just gonna be happy with Ray? I think I'm just gonna be happy with Ray being as it is. Oh, here's what I'm gonna do. Here is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to take a bright pink blush. So this guy from my Hourglass Ghost Quad. And use that to brighten and highlight and put a little bit of that into my eye look. There we go. There we go. That doesn't suck. So, oh, major news in baseball. I don't talk sports. I don't usually watch sports. I usually don't care. But my mom and I have bonded over Tigers baseball. She is a huge Detroit Tigers fan. She's originally from Detroit. It's where she met my dad. It's where she went to college. She and her group of girlfriends used to skip out on class. This is the CL Blur and Protect primer or powder. Yes, words. They used to skip out on class and go to baseball games. Like they were just wild. So she really loves the Detroit Tigers. And she has it on in the living room quite a bit. And eventually I just started watching it with her. And I caught the baseball bug. So I don't sit and watch every game, but I'll ask her if I walk through the room, like, okay, what's the damage? How are we doing? If it's essentially a really tight game or someone's doing really well, I'll sit and watch a little bit with her. But the Detroit Tigers committed the ultimate sin this week, and they traded their best pitchers, two of them, dos pitchers, Tarek Skubal and Casey Mize. And I'm angry. I'm going through the stages of grief. I feel like there has been a death in the family. Like, I don't know what to do with these emotions. I've never experienced this before, and I am just heartbroken. I am heartbroken. I am so sad. All right, I'm gonna go in with this lighter side. Yeah, I feel like a relationship has ended, and I now have to go watch him pitch for other teams. Apparently, Casey Mize pitched with his new team, and he gave up 8 runs, which I don't like. Casey's a really good pitcher, and it makes me so sad. I want to see them succeed, you know, I want to see them happy, but it just makes me really mad because Tarek was on the IL a good amount of this year, and he finally came back and he hit his stride and he started, you know, hitting no hitters, started pitching no hitters. And then suddenly he's been traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers because LA has lots of money. Apparently he was going to be a free agent, which made something like that more plausible. I don't know. The free agent thing confuses me. All right. I think we're just about done. Did I finish that bottle of MAC setting spray? But I'm going to use the Tula because I want the glow, and it does melt my powder really beautifully. This has been discontinued, but I bought like 4 bottles of it because I really like it. This is the Tula Signature Glow. I might actually be able to sell that other bottle. There might be people out there who are longing for this. I'll think about putting it online. I have a bunch of nail polish and other stuff to sell, one of them being like that CL skin tint. I am gonna line my eyes. I'm gonna use the, what is this? Victoria Beckham Cinnamon. I haven't used this in a while because, again, I have fallen so in love with the eyeliners from Kiko Milano. That's so much as you may take upon a knife's point. There we go. I do love how easily this liner goes on. It's quite lovely, and I am very glad I remembered it existed. All right, mascara. This is a mascara I've had open for a while and I haven't used. This is the Ilia Limitless Lash. Okay. Plastic brush, nice little hourglass shape. Oh, and I threw a jar. I threw a like ceramic jar. I'm still working on getting the lid trimmed. It's a whole new world for me, but it looks like it's gonna work, and I'm thrilled and excited. I will probably finish trimming the lid tomorrow and then work on trimming my agate wear. So if you don't know, I will post a photo. Agate wear is when you take 2 clays that are contrasting colors and you mush them together, you wedge them together, and then you throw with them. And this was my first experience doing that. You have to do it quick so that you don't mix too much of your clay together. And mine came out. Mine actually worked. So I have yet to trim them or do anything to continue the process besides throwing them. But that was a big win for me this week. And I've been getting other pieces back that I have thrown and made. The left eye is not even. Why are you the bad one? I wonder if my Ritalin is adding to my chaos. Who knows? All right. I threw on the Ulla Henriksen peptide plumping pout. This is just in the orange creamsicle flavor, and it's delicious. But I also pulled out one of the Merit lip oils in Archival. And I'm just going to put this on top. These are both lovely, hydrating, easy to wear, easy to use lip products. This is not going to be terribly long lasting. It will wear off as I eat and drink and go about my day, but it's so comfy. It's a little slippy. It definitely feels hydrating. All right, let's do something with this hair. This is the hair I slept in. Hey, wait. And if you're getting the idea that I enjoy wearing my hair a little messy, a little wild, that's the point. All right, so I've got this kinking around where the pins were. So I'm gonna put a little water on the tips of my fingers and then run that through and allow that to help me at least even it out. I desperately need a haircut, but oh heavens, that's fun. I'm probably just gonna put it back up in a messy bun to go about the rest of my day, and then I'll like throw in some oil or some styling products before I go out tonight. But this is it. This is cleaned up, freshened up, hydrated, you know, using makeup that I haven't used in a while and reminding me that the stuff I own is great and I don't need to buy new makeup. I mean, I just bought all of this Kiko Milano makeup. If you saw my last video, you'll see the review. And I am suddenly like, okay, now what do I want to buy? Now what do I need? I do have some palettes from Sephora that I want to review, but I think that's going to be the last review for a while. So if there's anything in particular that you want to see on this channel, let me know. I'm always looking for new ideas. I hope y'all are having a good week. I hope you are taking care of yourselves so you can take care of each other, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, friends.